Hi, everybody. This is Laura Hendrickson from Open Ocean Marketing. Today, I have Erik Huberman from Hawk Media. Hawk Media was started in 2014, and it is one of the most sought after ad agencies. And so we're here today with Hawk to talk about his online sales funnel successes and marketing successes. So welcome, Erik. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Just go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got involved with digital marketing and kind of came into the space, decided to build your own business, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so to answer all those questions, decided to build my own business because I graduated in 2008 from college and went in as a commercial real estate agent a week to the day before Lehman Brothers collapsed in the whole banking industry. So I had to figure out an alternative, always liked computers, started looking at building online businesses and ended up launching an online music company. And then through the past, or actually I'd say the consecutive next 6 years after that, I built and sold 2 e-commerce companies and found through all of it that the hardest part of building a business from my perspective, unless it's a highly technical medical business, something like that, is generally sales and marketing. How do you get people to actually know about your product and service and buy it? So I was selling t-shirts and selling activewear. Wasn't hard to manufacture a t-shirt. It was hard to market it, hard to get it out there and get people wanting to buy it. So focused on that side of it, and just really dove in myself, learned a lot about how to drive revenue growth using online marketing. And I mean, my t-shirt company was pre-Facebook ads. And then my activewear brand, we built off of influencer marketing, Facebook ads. And that's when influencer marketing, there were no influencer agencies. It was direct. And we got 1,200 influencers to promote our products. The entire initiative cost about $20,000 and drove about $1.2 million in revenue. So things like that. And that was literally, we had just launched. So just started understanding the way people work, the way marketing worked, messaging, context, all these things about marketing, because I'd done it myself for a decade. And then basically sold the last business, started advising and consulting for other brands. This is almost 7 years ago, on how to drive revenue growth using marketing. Worked with Red Bull, Verizon, Eddie Bauer, HP, as well as a lot of startups. And then just kept running into the same challenge of when it came time to actually execute on this marketing, it is really, really hard for companies to find access to good marketers. Most agencies, 99% of them are snake oil salesmen that don't know anything about actually marketing a brand or building a business. And the few that are good tend to go at market, want long contracts, high minimums. So it's really hard to find accessibility to great marketing. And that became our mission statement: accessibility to great marketing for everyone. And kind of our marching orders were, we're going to have the best marketers on the planet, but we're going to make it really easy to work with them. And it's this counterintuitive model that, frankly, every agency person, I don't come from agencies, told me it was never going to work. And now 6.5 years later, we're still the fastest growing marketing company in the country. Even through all the craziness right now, we're doing okay. We've built a business, even though we're month-to-month contracts. This is where we would have failed, when everybody can fire us because we have month-to-month contracts. And we're built to be flexible. So even though some businesses struggled, we've also been able to onboard a bunch and keep a lot because we're still very nimble. So nobody has to anticipate ahead of time and fire us because they can't deal with us in 6 months. We can just continue to work through it together. And so, yeah, it's worked out.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've been part of this as a summit with 21 experts. So I've been getting all sorts of great feedback from all sorts of online specialists and marketing people in general. And you talk about utilizing influencers as part of a key thing that you really focus on. And I just want to relate that back to a little bit in regards to joint venture, when people want to build their list and create more awareness of who they are, and tapping into, like you said, an influencer or somebody that has an audience already, where you can go ahead and push the information out. So I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, any kind of alignment or partnership you're basically sharing your list right now. It helps so much. I mean, I literally had a meeting we have a venture fund too. We funded we've invested in about 15 companies so far. I was talking to one of the founders yesterday about what can we do that's scrappy, that we don't just have to spend more money, because we're afraid we need to hold on to some of our cash right now. And that is the cheapest way to get good marketing, is to find partners that have your audience, that you guys can share your audiences and help each other grow.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you. So as far as, you've got this core thing with the with the influencers, are there any other core aspects of companies that you really want them to focus on when preparing their products, their offer?
Sure.
I like to be able to, I know you focus a lot on kind of that e-commerce and those products, but I'm talking, our audience has other things that they're offering. So when you are developing and really focusing on kind of that core product or the core thing that they're selling, are there certain things that you really focus on when wanting to gain that traction and gain the momentum?
So I'd say about 75% of our business is e-commerce, but we do a lot of other things too: services businesses, brick and mortar businesses, et cetera. So I would say influencer marketing is actually, I wouldn't call it core. I'd call, like, when we look at marketing, we start a little higher up than that. Influencer marketing is a tactic and a solution for a need, but we look at marketing in kind of three categories. So awareness, nurturing, and trust. So how do you build awareness for your brand? How do you introduce new people to the idea that your brand, product or service even exists? That's awareness. That can be advertising, that can be PR, that can be, prospecting. There's a lot of ways to build awareness for yourself. And a lot of times the fallacy is that the moment you hit someone is when they decide if they're going to buy or not. So a lot of people think all I have to do is run advertising and then people are going to buy my product or service. And they don't nurture that awareness. And the problem is there's something called a purchase cycle or consideration period, where it takes time from the first time someone is introduced to your company to when they actually become a customer. And so that's the nurturing piece. So again, awareness, nurturing, trust. You have to nurture those leads and those people that have become aware of you. And that's email marketing, that's SMS marketing, that's chat bots, that's all the things that you can do that over time you stay in touch with people that can help bring them along to a purchase decision, as well as retargeting and advertising. And then trust, Edelman did a study that 75% of people won't buy a product from a company they don't inherently trust. Like 3/4 of your customers won't come through if they don't have a reason to trust you. And that's where influencer marketing can come really powerful, and testimonials and press and third-party validation, because until you have a brand that stands for itself that people know, trust has to come from third parties. And so that's where influencer gets really powerful. Back when I was talking about my activewear brand, that was 8 years ago that campaign ran. It's 7.5. And so, 7.5 years ago, influencer marketing was a great awareness play too, and trust. And so that combination is what made it so powerful. But that was pre it becoming like a mainstream, overdone thing. And frankly, the moment Fire Festival hit and the what's the government part, the FTC got involved, everybody knew then, like, influencers had this power because people thought it was authentic, and when they promoted something, it was real. And then they realized that was the whole industry, and the authenticity went out the door. Influencer marketing is now just another checkbox. It's not core. It's just a part of the mix.
Mm-hmm. So, building those case studies is really, really important. And would you say, with some of your other companies, or all of them in general, when they're first starting off and building that credibility, do you recommend that they have like a small offer that they can just get that traction and get some kind of their feet running, so to speak? Or what are some things that you suggest that companies do in order to gain some momentum on those third-party referrals and the kind of the traction of the trust side?
It's a give and take. It's you got to be offering something. So if you're trying to get traction on referrals and partnerships and all that, you got to have a good product or service that people can stand behind. And then you just got to be, honestly, like, at the end of the day, be a good person, be someone people want to help and work with. Like, that is the easiest way to get started. I remember when I first started Hawk, I ended up having a couple guys that sent me tons of deals. They had a big agency, and they could only take on like Fortune 1000 clients, like everyone else. And so anyone that approached them that they couldn't take on, they just introduced to me. And after like 6 months of sending me tons of business, one of them said to me, like, "Hey man, when you started this, I didn't even know if you knew anything about marketing. I just thought you were a cool guy and I was going to try to help you out." And like, I delivered, it worked out. I kept the relationship. But in the beginning, it was more, they just liked me. And they were like, "You probably know something. Let's figure, good luck. We'll see how this goes." And if it backfired, they wouldn't have done it very long. But they did it. They're still sending us business 6.5 years in.
Right. That's awesome. What would you say are some tools that you utilize for tracking results?
Many. Google Analytics is a no-brainer. It's free. It's ubiquitous. So Google Analytics is super easy. We use Yaguara is a really good one. Yaguara. We actually invested in the company and then Shopify invested directly in the company. They just announced a new fundraise. It's like business intelligence. That's for e-commerce. That's why Shopify invested, but it forces you to have goals to track. So the problem we see with a lot of people that are tracking KPIs is they don't even know what they're aiming for. So like, here's a number. Is that good or bad? And it could be good or bad. They have no idea. So setting goals was really important. So that's why we really like this platform. And then in the native platforms too, like in Facebook, in Google, we always measure them against each other, but we use Google Data Studio as well for a dashboard. We use Tracer, which is a great platform. It came out of VaynerMedia, Gary Vaynerchuk's company. They're good at like monitoring different ad spends if you're managing a bunch of different spends across. So these are all good platforms and companies we built relationships with.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And let's see. When developing, I think we went over this particular one in regards to developing the core products. How about some tactics and strategies that you love as far as kickstarting a new product with an established brand?
So kickstarting a new product with an established brand, I actually think, the cool thing about having an established brand is like, if you've created consistency and reliability in your products, launching a new brand or a new product shouldn't be easy or hard at all. And because everyone's anticipating it, if you've treated your people well, they're going to want whatever you're selling. You see that with long-lasting brands. I think it's really just about, focus on your existing audience first. When you launch a new product, it's way cheaper. You can learn a lot quicker. And then you can also see where is the overlap between your existing audience and who wants this specific product. And then go out to advertise to people like that. Because your entire base isn't going to want every product you sell. So that allows you to save some money on the testing on the advertising side by going with your own audience first. We just did that with a product or a company that's been around like 30 years. They just launched a whole new product line. And we went to their email list and to their existing customers first, saw what's working, and then went out.
Well, okay, so there's the seeing what's working, but also do you ever, how often are you using surveys or kind of reaching out and doing like market research of sorts?
Yep, I'm a firm believer of actions speak louder than words. You can be iterative with digital testing now that you don't need to do surveys. And I don't believe, there's a lot of studies about the lack of efficacy with market testing and surveys. I just believe people, you don't get consistent answers. You get some people that answer what they think you want to hear. You get some people that answer it honestly. There's also unforeseen consequences of certain questions. So it's really hard when you're trying to test something to do it with a survey. I'd rather measure it with someone's wallet if I'm trying to sell something. But see who's willing to buy this, what type of person they are, and iterate off that.
Right. Excellent. Yeah. And then as far as, are you often doing add-ins to certain, like say we take a company that's got a service, and when you're creating your sales funnels, are you doing a lot of add-ins, or are you just kind of making sure that one works really well, or like what is some strategy around?
Add-ins like other products you might like kind of thing, or
supplemental. I know a lot of times e-commerce sites have things where you buy this product, you may like this product. Amazon does that sort of thing. And
recommended products is what we do that all the time. A big focus for a lot of companies that a lot miss is you got to increase the lifetime value of a customer, whether that's an average order value or just getting them to come back and buy more. Like, it's really expensive to acquire a customer. So you got to do everything you can to keep them and get them to spend as much as possible, increase your share of wallet with them. And so that's a great way to do it. If I'm on your site, let's say you're a fashion company and I'm buying a shirt, well, I might also like that pair of pants. Like, you should recommend that because you're going to have some conversion rate there. And then again, it's all about optimizing all these things. Same thing with info products, whatever it is. I've already shown you that I want to buy from you. So now you've got that trust factor. You know that I trust, as a person, I trust you because I'm buying from you. So you've gotten over that hurdle. You've gotten over the purchase cycle hurdle. Now you just have to see how much money you can get out of me. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that like, how much value can you provide me that I'm willing to open up my wallet more and more? And so it is smart to take advantage of that.
Yeah. And then as far as some of the influencers that you've worked with, what are there any like parameters around kind of picking those influencers? Or I know this is
I would say
back to that topic, but I was curious.
So it depends. There's a lot of ways to leverage influencers. There's their audience, there's their brand and persona and trust side of things. There's their content. So it depends on what you're trying to go for, because like influencer content used in advertising works really well. So you might want to just get an influencer and that's what you're going for, is content that aligns with your brand. There's the audience piece where it's like, then it's just about figuring out, is their audience your demo that you're trying to reach? And then the brand piece, I'd say, every brand that we work with, and a lot of times we advise, like, think of your brand as a person, because it's the easiest way to decide on your messaging, your email marketing, all that. Like, who is that person? What's the bio of your brand? Even I watched Chip Hearn from who founded Lululemon and Kit and Ace. He talked about, the Lululemon girl was, I think it said she's 32 years old. She's a young professional that, like, had this whole list of things that this is who the Lululemon girl is. That's not who buys Lululemon. It's who they are. And when you have that kind of clarity on your own brand, then the influencers you work with should align with that person if you're doing it for a brand lift kind of scenario, because then it immediately clarifies who your brand is. When all these people stand for what you stand for, that's your brand. And so that alignment is a really important part of it too. That more applies, I'd say, with big influencers and celebrities. If you're going to get a celebrity endorsement, they should be what your brand is trying to be. And usually that person is what your customer is aspiring to be by purchasing your products. And so, whoever that aspirational figure is, a lot of times celebrities are aspirational figures. It can be a shortcut to giving that clarity.
Great. Okay, so in your process of developing, we went through kind of the awareness, nurturing, and retaining sort of thing, and trust. But would you say that there's a system or methodology to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, there's an art and a science to marketing. So it's not like we just do the same thing over and over again. It's different for every company, but it's more of like, again, that's the science part of it, is like, what are we doing to create awareness? What are we doing to create nurturing? And what are we doing to create trust? There's a lot of things that work ubiquitously: email marketing, SMS, search marketing, Facebook marketing. These are all things that work. How you leverage those is what's different per company. But, there's a whole slew of things you can leverage. And then it really depends on the brand where you start. If you have limited budgets, what's the place to start? Where would you, how do you spread that out? That's the kind of stuff we strategize, is depending on the type of company and the type of financial constraints and what their propensity for success is. How do we, use all those things together to create a marketing plan that makes sense?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'd say the one real key is really creating a value proposition or kind of pitch that's 5 to 7 words that allows people to talk about you, because word of mouth is going to be the most success, or the biggest part of your success, is if people talk about you and recommend you. Every business in the world, word of mouth is what drives the highest piece of success. And so if you're going to, when you're designing whatever your company is, you need to be able to articulate what it is in 5 to 7 words that people go, that's awesome, I'm in. So, because it's not about you explaining it to people. That's easy. You can do a 30-second spot and have a ton of time to talk about your company. It's when they go tell the next person. You have to give them what to say that they can articulate, super simple, this is what it is. And when you're able to empower other people to talk about your company, can drive a ton of success. Because if you have to buy every customer yourself, it's way too expensive. If every time you bring in a customer, they bring 5 with them, you're going to have something successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been taking some sales classes, and they talk about the white knight. So being able to develop those white knights for us, highly, is very exciting. Okay, let's see. So do you have a preference on the advertising, as far as, we've got all these different platforms with e-commerce specifically, like I said, there's a lot of times we have so many choices, we get overwhelmed with, whether it's Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram. And I think obviously you want to focus in on where you're going to find your target market, but are there other factors in choosing which advertising platform?
What I think that is the fallacy is you can reach your target market on any of those. So it's not about actually targeting, because digital makes targeting easy. You can reach everyone. Everyone uses Google. Everyone uses Facebook. I'm speaking hyperbola, but you get it. And so you can reach anyone. It's context. What do you need people? What state of mind? What do you want them to be doing when you introduce your brand? So usually Facebook and Google are the two best. And I'll explain why. So Facebook, the way people use Facebook is basically they're bored and they're scrolling through a news feed. That is mostly how people use Facebook, is just scrolling away. If you can hit someone, and again, you can target whoever you want. So you can use Facebook to figure out who your customer is, target your exact customer, with copy or creative you've tested that they respond well to at a time when that they're bored and have nothing better to do, that is a great selling point. The way Facebook doesn't work well, though, is if you have a timing-based product, something that serves a need that has a time period. Example would be, I don't know, air conditioning repair or DUI attorney. Like, I don't need a DUI attorney ever, hopefully, but you're not going to be able to decide what interest base and what type of demographic fits someone that needs a DUI attorney. So a lawyer that does DUI defense going to have a hard time doing Facebook ads. But that's where Google comes in. Google's all needs-based. I am looking for something. Do you have a solution to my problem? And so Google works really well for a DUI attorney, for some type of repair, for Hawk Media, and I need marketing help. Google is a great place for that. But Google isn't great for lifestyle brands like fashion. When's the last, and anyone listening to this, like the last time you Googled shirt and bought a t-shirt, like you don't go on there to find, though that's not a problem solution. It's more lifestyle and want driven, and Google's not as good for that. It's good for research around it maybe, but if you're doing Google ads, you're not necessarily going to bring in a new customer from there at the same rate, unless you have an established brand. If someone's searching for running shoes and Nike's at the top, they do have a good chance of converting a sale. So Google's a little harder when you're trying to build a new product. So as we say it, Google's for answering existing demand, Facebook's for creating new demand for your company. Now go to YouTube. And again, context is important. On Google, I'm actively looking for something. On Facebook, I'm bored. On YouTube, I'm actively watching videos. That's how most people use YouTube, is they're looking for, a lot of times it's, again, the second biggest search engine. They're looking for how-to videos and they're looking to watch entertainment. And so the problem is the ads on YouTube are interrupted. They're not seamless, and they're actually more annoying than anything. So we don't actually see great performance on YouTube unless you have a really compelling product that has a really, really good spot. And then maybe you can get performance, but it's really rare, and very few companies have been able to do it. And then you have, and the companies that all these platforms kind of make sense are the big like CPG companies, where for them, they just want to make sure that the next time you walk in the store, you buy Oreos. Like, they don't care, like they don't need direct conversions. They're not looking for the ROI. They just want to know that when you go buy cookies, when you go to the store and Oreos pop up, you're like, oh yeah, that commercial was awesome. I'm grabbing these. That's it. So it's a little different of a marketing measurement, but I'm talking more performance driven. Snapchat, as an example, that's much more of a messaging platform. People are sending snaps back and forth. People watch their story, but it's still kind of interruptive. It's getting a little better, and they're doing better and better at it, but it's still got a long way to go. Twitter, same thing. You've got back and forth communication. Nobody's just sitting in their Twitter feed watching what people are tweeting. They're going to specific pages, and so ads just get ignored. TikTok, I think, is going to be very compelling. Based on all this quarantine and stuff, I actually finally got onto TikTok, and it is more like Facebook and Instagram in the sense of like you're just watching, video after video, and if an ad pops up, it kind of fits it. You can swipe right past if you want to, but if someone does a good job of getting your attention, it's not that annoying. And so it's seamless within the habits of the platform. And so I think TikTok will actually end up being a good place to advertise once they don't have the demographics we need yet. It's a little too young. Sorry, high schoolers don't have a lot of discretionary income, but soon enough, I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So just in that you have been able to take these brands and really take off with them and do incredibly well. You've gotten noticed by a lot of kind of big name people with contests and awards, accolades, that sort of thing. What factors do you feel would you attribute to being most consistent with results in helping the retail e-commerce business and propelling sales and then maintaining that position in their industry? Like what are some factors that you attribute your consistency with?
I think first and foremost is consistency. Being reliable, being straightforward, being honest, doing the right thing, being flexible, sticking to our mission, treating our clients well, all of the things that matter to businesses and mattered to me before this business and still matter to me as a business owner. Like that's the cool thing about my business is I serve people like myself. So I treat people like I want to be treated. And like I have conversations and I'm not rude. And if we have a situation where something's messed up on our end, we take ownership of it. Like I just try to play and I watch how I react to other people and the way they treat me and make sure that I act like the people that I like to work with and I keep paying. I try to emulate that and stick with it. And then when I see things are working for us that are doing well, we keep going with it. And then on the accolade side, I mean, there's some intent behind that too. We raise our hand and I tell my people the same thing internally. Like no one's going to sing your praises more than yourself. So like you kind of you do have to be promotional, depending on what your goals are. My goal is to build a multinational big company, because I have a mission that has a lot of companies that need help. We want to create accessibility to great marketing for everyone. We need to be everywhere. We need to have a lot of people. We need to be able to bring that to the world. And so with that mission comes, a lot of making sure that we make our people aware of us, that we do that. So part of it is an effort. Part of it is just doing the right thing so that when, our name's out there enough now that like if we were doing shady things, people would know it pretty quickly. So we just have to, stay clean and stay good at what we do. And, because we work with so many companies, even though we try to keep our nose clean, we still have people that don't like us, just like every company doesn't. And, we fight really hard to make sure that's a small number.
Yeah, no, that's great. I wanted to kind of go over, you've got a couple of tools on your site. Just want to mention them with the audience that are here. I will be sending them these links so that they'll have access to you. But you've got media planning for campaign budgets and how to break even. You've got 3 platforms that work for everything, conversion rates, 16 steps to mastering your marketing, all really great articles and information for people listening as far as their own journey in becoming successful with their online marketing and stuff like that. Is there, as we've talked on this particular subject and in general, do you have any kind of final thoughts or ideas or things that you really want to make sure that people are aware of when they are doing their marketing? And as you said, it's a lot about consistency, and so I know that this time periods, there's some people that are kind of in that frozen mode where they're not doing much and they have to pivot, but in the same token, like being able to kind of capture what it is they're going to focus on and then just getting it out there, right?
Yep. And I would say, fun enough, my wife sent me a quote this morning that is perfect answer to that, which is, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Henry Ford. So to me, and this is, I know this is going to be around for a while, but like we're in the time during the quarantine and everything where people get scared and want to pull back on things. And whether it's this or some other aspect, and every business goes through this regularly. It's not just because there's an epidemic. It's a lot of reasons that people get scared and pull back. And I think that is a mistake in business. I think you have to lean in and pivot and adapt, but pulling back and getting scared and playing scared is a great way to fail. Your competitors run by you, you lose business, and it turns into a vicious cycle because you lose business, you lose people, you lose more budget. So it's about being on the offensive, and it's about, that is marketing and sales. Like you have to constantly be fighting to figure out the next thing, whatever that variable, and that's being a business owner. Like you have to be able to be adapt quickly and be nimble always. I mean, a great example I love of this right now is Cheesecake Factory. The entire country shut down all our restaurants, and Cheesecake Factory's revenue only dropped 50% because they went into delivery and online and pushed it. And I'm sorry, like 50% revenue drop's pretty bad, but it's not when you talk about the fact that every one of their businesses got shut down. That's pretty remarkable. The industry is down 90%. They're down 50%. They're outperformed the industry drastically because they adapted. And so I like that example because that is a very big company. That's not, small startups should have this easy. When a big company is able to do that, there's no excuse.
Right. Awesome. Well, this information has been so valuable. Thank you very much, Erik. Again, this is Hawk Media and Laura Hendrickson with Open Ocean Marketing. I really appreciate you being on the summit and look forward to sharing all this wonderful content with our audience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Got it.